This morning on a jam-packed Security Savings Bank Community Hour, it's Dorothy Ricketts. She is a vice president with SSB. Hi, Dorothy.
Hello, Vanessa. How are you?
Good. We've spent a morning talking about law enforcement and some scams with Josh Kramer, the mortgage scam he brought up. That was pretty creepy, and you've got more to share.
I have some more, and I know I sound like a broken record when I'm on here, but we have at Security Savings seen a real uptick in debit card scams. And it's the type of scam where the customer who always says to us, what could I have done differently to protect myself? There's nothing the customer can do. These bad actors, they have access to lots of computer programs and lots of time and apparently a lot of intelligence, which is really heartbreaking that they're using it in this fashion. But it's called, these bad actors run through card numbers. They just start creating card numbers. They have a computer program generated to do it, and every once in a while they hit on a card number. While they may get the card number right, they may not have the other information correct, such as the expiration date or your 3-digit code on the back of the card. But we see those come through as $0 attempts on an account, and then we start seeing a pattern. We have to shut those cards down even though nothing's happened on it because the bad actors know it's a valid card number. They don't know why the transaction was denied, so they may start trying other types of transactions to get those through. So we've been diligently for the past couple of weeks calling customers and saying, okay, we're shutting your card down. Let's get you a new card going. And again, the common question is, what could I have done to prevent this? And there are just some cases where no matter how diligent you are and how protective you are of your card, you can't stop this. It's the next step in fraud attempts. It's called, a brute force attack where the bad actors just run through card numbers and try to make a hit on something.
Okay. That's too bad because, boy, bless you guys' hearts. How many times a year do you think you replace and shut down debit cards?
Daily.
Okay, yeah, daily.
Daily. It's daily, and on a Monday morning it may be 20 or 25, and we're a pretty small bank, relatively speaking. So, and the bigger banks have some automation involved in that, and we don't. So we have the hands-on touch. We are calling people specifically, and we may leave a message. We don't leave any detail in the message. Please call us, but people realize their debit cards aren't working very quickly and often call us first.
Of course.
So,
of course.
Yes.
Yeah,
so.
and it's amazing. And it happens quickly and you don't even know when it was actually compromised.
That is correct. That is correct. And we've had another interesting a circumstance pop up where a customer received a robocall that stated it was from, the monitoring service. And this customer was asked to enter their card number and their PIN to confirm that it was them. Well, most monitoring services won't ask for the PIN because many systems, the PIN is hidden behind algorithms. Okay. So a monitoring service is not going to know what your PIN is. And we at the bank don't know what your PIN is. We have what's called an offset number. So this person was asked to enter her card number and her PIN. And, of course, that gave the bad actors the opportunity to have both the card number and the PIN. And, of course, a counterfeit card was created and used with the PIN,
Yep.
but in a different state.
And people wonder, how do they do this? They, when you're supposed to swipe a card or you think of a purchase being swiped. But in today's world, people can purchase anything online. Like when mine was recently hacked, It was a planned attempt. They were going on vacation. It was 4th of July. Mm-hmm. They went to Legoland. They went out to eat. They did DoorDash. They purchased everything on the apps.
Yes.
They went to all the zoo, the parks, and knew that they could do it because nobody was open on 4th of July weekend.
Right.
And it wasn't until Monday morning, or I guess that'd be Tuesday morning, July the 5th, that the credit card company says, whoa, you were not in Dallas, were you? No, I was not in Dallas.
Yes, absolutely.
But that was a planned attempt. And how long did they have the card?
Absolutely. And it's just a matter of having the number and creating a counterfeit card. And again, I've read the stories about the people being arrested with thousands of blank cards in their car in their trunk or in their hotel room, wherever they're situated, with the card printers to make the cards. So
Amazing.
It is. It really is. So
Okay, what else do you want our audience to know that's going on?
just real quickly, and this would be for any customers who write larger checks. We've seen an uptick in check washing, where the payee on the check is altered. Actually, the original payee is even washed off completely. It's a real specific banking term. The check is washed. That means the information's taken off of it and replaced with other information. Not in some cases. In all the cases that we've seen, the check is exactly the same. The amount is the same. The check number is the same. The signatures on the check match. It's just the payee that has been changed. And, depending on how closely monitoring takes place, if you see this check as a business or a person who writes larger checks, you see the check is cleared through your accounting system, you're like, okay, it's cleared. But we're encouraging our customers to utilize the online banking option of looking at each check as it clears. We provide the image of a check as it clears for you to make sure that the payee and all of the information matches. So the ones we see, interestingly, there are lockbox services where payments to vendors get made. And some of these lockbox services have very telling addresses like Remittance Drive or that type of thing. So any step along the mail process, whether it's someone stealing mail out of a box or whether it's someone along the way at the post office who's not above board, or if it gets dropped somewhere, anything. If it says Remittance Drive on it, that just screams that there's a check inside of it. And so the crooks are looking for those kinds of things. And there's a couple different lockbox locations, but their address absolutely pinpoints them. It's just like putting a neon sign on this envelope saying, hey, there's a check in here. If you're going to steal an envelope, take this one.
Isn't that just horrific that we live in a world now like that?
Well,
it drives me nuts.
It is.
I've had three different gift cards to kids. Never received.
That never got there.
Their cards with their gift cards for their birthdays.
Yes.
And did it wind up, behind a machine? Did it? Who knows?
Yes.
But then you read the stories of the PPP fraud and how many mail carriers this is up north in the Chicagoland area, they had to arrest and indict for fraud, for theft of. Yes. So, you're supposed to be able to send your check in the mail.
Yes.
And for it to get there, otherwise it's a federal offense, but doggone it.
Yes. And there, there was just a postal worker in, I want to say Ohio or Indiana somewhere that years of diverting but got caught and finally got sentenced and payback, if that can ever be done. I don't know how you'd ever determine, but yeah. So it's just, it's an I guess an example of we need to protect ourselves. You use your tools at hand. If you use online banking or mobile banking, use your tools, watch your account, get push notifications. I've had lots of debit card fraud revealed by push notifications. Someone got a push notification on their phone that says, hey, your card was used at such and such, and they call us immediately. I did not do this. And we can get it shut down right away with minimal hassle for the customer and minimal unauthorized activity. So we really have to use our tools and take advantage of the information that's available to us.
Okay. We can do that. That's why you're here, to share with our audience so that they know any checks and balances. Pun intended.
There, and yeah, right, true, and you're not alone, and so as always, contact your local banker who can help you and step you through that.
Yes.
I can't stress that enough.
And Josh had pointed out earlier on the show that the Social Security letter scam is now out, where they're sending it in the mail. So be conscientious that if you receive a letter in the mail that looks like it's from the Social Security office, contact your banker, your tax accountant, or get an appropriate number from the IRS from your local banker.
Absolutely. So,
okay. Dorothy, anything else you want people to know?
Well, just contact us. Any questions
Any of
at
your
all.
local banks. Yep.
And that your Social Security letter, I get calls from people or visits from people who have legitimate letters too, and we welcome that. We welcome you. Come in. Let's do this. Let's talk about this, so that you and the bank too, but we both feel comfortable with it, because we see. We see some odd things going on in the background sometimes that we're following up on. So if we know in advance, it can really help us too.
Okay. Terrific. Thank you so much for coming in.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Dorothy Ricketts with us, Vice President with Security Savings Bank on 1330 WRAM and FM 94.1. That concludes the Security Savings Bank, part of your community, part of your life, member FDIC Community Hour. This is WRAM, Monmouth, Illinois. Let's join regular scheduled programming.